Okay. Hello everyone. I'm just here quickly because I want to test our install and see whether we have indeed now fixed the problem with the little waits, the weird little glitches that we've been getting. And at the same time, I want to get that one contract done that's bothering us. And yes, I know about these things. I know about those. That's it's just something we'll have to live with. So, earlier today, I'd swapped something around, and I want to see, just basically try and build and see whether we still have that many weird glitches. Now, when earlier we're getting them back. What is happening here? There we go, they're back. Darn it! I thought we'd solve them. That's why I was going live. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do the very fascinating thing of quitting the game, which will make it blank screen for you. This is some quality recording, I know. But here's the issue I've been having. I've been having those little hiccups. Now, I've removed some mods. You know what? Let's see if I can show you those. I've been removing a couple of mods, and things worked correctly. So then I figured, oh, let's have a test and see. See again. There we go. Oh wait, that's the wrong screen. In game, and I want to add the window capture so you can see this. The existing window capture. There we go. This is CCAN, what I'm using to install mods. Let's put that over there. So what I'd done, let's see, we're on installed. I'd try to reinstall Ferrum Aerospace, and that gave me some issues. Hey there, Venom, it is indeed live. Banning FUB? No. Oh god, Tracy's just going on lunch. What terrible, terrible timing. Just a joke about your mistake yesterday. Let's see. Surface experiment, space talk, science relay. So here's the weird thing. I cannot see anything that should... Hey there, Joe. That should be causing the problem that we're having. Because I thought that what I had fixed it by removing Ferrum Aerospace and some of the leftover enhancement mods. Let's try this again. We'll start KSP 64 bits as we've been doing. There we go. This, by the way, is regular. That's just what we've been having the entire time. This is normal. These things should work normally. You have the flu? Ah, Joe, that sucks. I hate... Just the annoying thing about the flu is that it's just so useless. You just feel a little bit bad, but, you know, usually not horrible. Or you're just tired and grumpy and sick and... This is bad. This morning I wasn't able to catch Tracy. She had to get up real early, and I had some visitors when she could talk, so didn't catch her when she was going to work. And then by now I figured, okay, it's been such a while, she's probably had her lunch then and just wasn't able to talk. So I figured, why not? By now I'll just go stream. And literally, I stream, and I get a message from her saying, like, of course you're going stream just as I go on lunch. It's like, the bad timing. You're calling into work tomorrow? You need all the rest you can get? It's good that you at least have that chance to take that time. But yeah, that is annoying though, to have something like that. Okay, we're gonna try again and see if we get those breaks, because earlier today when I was testing this, it was fine. And that's what surprises me about just now, that we've been getting these weird breaks. These weird little glitches and hiccups. You know what? I wanted to try something weird. I wonder if I can somehow make that look good. Doesn't really look like it. There, as though, you know, the intakes are just on the side of that plane. And maybe... Oh wait, those are the small ones. Maybe get one more and then get like dual jet engines in the back. But I probably have to move these slightly. See, we're getting these breaks again, and this is weird. Earlier today, I did not have these issues. I'm gonna have to do more tests and see if I can fix that somehow. It's just so bizarre. Okay, my entire goal is to make this look real cool. Looks like a pod racer. Oh, that would be horrifying if it also made that sound. No, I like this, like a sleek jet with air intakes on the side like that. Let's see, a wing like that. You know what? I'm thinking maybe a whole lot smaller. And we take small elevons. What do you think? Would that make sense? Wings of this size, would that work, do you think? Because remember, the plane, the body itself will also have some lift properties. At least it should. And then some, where are these canards? In the front. But again, make these small. Oh, no. Align them, please. And, this in the back to get us some extra lift. Maybe those need to be a little bit smaller as well. Something like that. That looks sleek, like a jet fighter. Yeah, Joe, I hope you feel better as well. Let's check out center of mass, center of lift. Center of lift has risen a little bit. We should probably move these forward to there, and we'll have to move these because they're angled, they will also influence the fighter a little bit. Okay, now these should only affect pitch. These should only affect pitch. These should only affect roll. And these should be involved in yaw. Let's get some landing gear on this. That is some close together landing gear. That is some close together landing gear. This is a jet fighter on the edge. Oh, there we go. Come on, come on. There we go. We'll put these a little bit on the side and rotate. I have no idea whether this will work well. Now, whoop. Put them like that on the sides. That angles it up. I think we should be good. Puts a little bit behind the center of mass there, though. Except that's too much. Let's just go a little bit like that. See if they're still reasonably attached. You've got to go over to Fred's place and Water's plans was on vacation, get some groceries. He'll be back later. Oh, cool. Thank you, Vaden. Hopefully, will not crash and burn horribly. But my main interest right now is finding out whether or not we can even play this game without all the slowdowns that we've been having. So far, it seems reasonable, actually. Let's get the ejection module carefully tucked away in the back. And if you recall, we need a thermometer as well for the mission. And maybe get the air brakes on the sides here. And scale those down. You know the drill. I'll put those all the way in the back, but we do need them. There we go, on the plane. That'd be great. And as usual, I prefer them to be about, let's say there, 85 maybe. That's a real nice deployment if you look at that. Sleek and brake style. Okay, I think we have the minimum of what we need. Roll. This is probably going to be fairly maneuverable. We could probably even move those wings downwards, but let's keep our roll to 35 or so. Let's see. I think this is the X4 Jet 1. Let's give it a cool flag, and we're probably going to quick save at the start, because now that Ferrum is gone again, I'm not too sure how things will react. So I think that warrants an F5 just to see if we can't, if we don't explode and mess things up horribly. Rogue shoots, there we go. Double check, but it's usually okay that the abort is indeed the ejection module. Perfect. And that the brakes involve the air brakes. They do. Check the crew. Jedfin, who will be our test fighter pilot. Save this baby. Fire it up. Hey there, Alex. Can't stay long. You have jiu-jitsu class. Oh, cool. But you thought you'd stop in a bit beforehand. I really appreciate you stopping in. I'm part of the reason of this stream, and I'm gonna keep it a shorter stream than usual, is that I want to test whether or not removing a mod or two has indeed fixed the weird lag issue that we've been getting. And the other thing is, since we've now removed Ferrum Aerospace again, the planes might react differently. So I'm very nervously trying out how this works. Whoa, 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 this thing wants to pitch down, but it looks like we have functioning aerodynamics that aren't doing too badly. The roll of this thing is pretty good. It can pick up some speed, I can tell you that. A chase cam on. That's interesting. Look at that little thermometer down there. Oh, that's the actual thing we need to reach, which is a quarter around the planet. Look at the speed this thing reaches. We would definitely be in trouble with Ferrum Aerospace, because this would be experiencing such difficult distortions. Is there a post on Discord? Yeah, that took some figuring out. The thing that's been giving me trouble is a mod I'd like to install, but just haven't been able to manage it yet, which is, oh god, what's it called again? Environmental Visual Enhancement, or EVE. What that does is upgrades the texture of Kerbin, adds a cloud layer, adds like fake cities, like texture cities, some lights. It upgrades every single planet. It's real nice. But the problem is, every time I install it, Kerbin in this overview becomes fully black. Somehow the texture messes up and it's just darkness. But what I discovered was toggle mode. I did not think that would be one at a time. We need an action group for that. But yeah, what I wasn't thinking would happen was that when I uninstall the EVE mod, that some of the other mods it uses, it has dependencies, would still be on there. So I uninstalled those, and I just found that the Ferrum Aerospace mod that we'll be using, which has been so cool, is not a release version for 1.3, which is the version of Kerbal that we're using. I thought it was because it was in CCAN, which is this modding tool that you use for Kerbal. It was there and available, so I figured, oh, it must be released. When I checked forum posts, it turns out it isn't. It's available for 1.22. And as you can see, we haven't been having that many of these weird memory leaks, these weird glitches that prevent us and halt us. We still get a couple, so I'm not sure whether it's fixed everything, but it's helped. Also, what a beautiful cockpit. What spacious view. Although we don't get any other displays with this one. Let's see if I can physics warp. And point this baby down. And all we need is to reach that target before we can finally do that one mission that's been eluding us for so darn long. There we go. One rover mission, by the way, failed for no reason whatsoever. When I booted up this afternoon to test the whole mod situation, it just failed me on one. I have no idea what happened, why, but there we go. So far, though, this hyperjet flying at Mach 2 point something or other, 343. That is 686. Mach 2.3, I guess, 2.3, 2.4. Oh, we're still sending science. Hello, hello, hello. But this superjet, it is doing business. Compared to the... Oh, it's trying to point up a little bit. That's interesting. It seems that as the fuel is leaving, I guess the center of weight is moving backwards maybe, and that's why it's trying to pitch up. But yeah, compared to the other jet, if you remember, our early one that took 45 minutes to reach the North Pole, this one takes 15 minutes. And of course, I'm doing this at 4 times acceleration. That's why the colors here keep flashing. This is an interesting thing to learn about Kerbal. When you're flying at normal speed, you should have green, which is just 1 second works as 1 second. When it starts flashing yellow, that's when it starts skipping frames and doing less than the FPS you want it. And particularly here you can see it is constantly flashing yellow and even red, which is basically an alert that says the game engine can't keep up with this. And it either happens when you're speeding up and having so many different calculations and effects going that the game just says, let's skip a few. Or when you have a craft that's so big, like hundreds of parts, that the game just cannot continually do all the physics for all these parts all the time. By the way, the engines are really loud, aren't they? Okay, we are getting closer and closer to where we need to be. We are flying directly towards the closest of the 3 sites at a breakneck speed. I love it. Also, look at this. We're flying at 14 kilometers right now. Okay, I'm gonna slow down a little bit. And I'm also going to lower quite strongly. Simply because if we would deactivate these afterburners, we would be losing our engines. Because the other ones, without the afterburner, they don't work that well at higher altitudes. These afterburners really are for flying at high altitudes. Let's adjust this a little bit. The roll is pretty good right now at 35. Okay, we're getting there in 1 minute, so let's see what happens when we toggle the modes. And again, yep, this is definitely why I need to... There we go. Why I need to get an action group. Also, these engines are now dead because I think they're flamed out. There. Because they weren't getting enough air, probably. At that high speed, our air intakes would likely not be working. I'll get to the signs here and now, maybe? No, we'll have to do this manually anyway. We could have actually brought more signs, I'm realizing, because we haven't been to the North Pole yet. So we could have brought more signs than this, but at the very least we can land on the North Pole and get some crew reports and EVAs. Oh, there's a... Wow, there's a radiation belt here? Good that it chooses skip frames and just slow down, do the calculations. Actually, sadly, Alex, it does slow down. Normally, particularly in big ships, it'll chug. It'll chug heavily. Okay, that is one. Where is the next one? Over there? Okay. Yeah, sadly, with a very large device, you'll be able to see it in some people's YouTube videos. With very large parts, sometimes the game will do 1 frame a second, but then we're talking ridiculously huge interstellar type, interplanetary crafts. There's a video of somebody getting 136 Kerbals to the farthest planet in one go. That one chugs terribly. By the way, I am greatly amused by the fact that before now we've always used very large wings. This thing uses the smaller version, and before we'd always had a wing this big. tiny wings. Apparently, that works. But yeah, I'd love it if, with larger parts as well, it would skip calculations. There is a solution though. There is a mod called Ruiz. There's a weld mod. If you look for Kerbal weld, somebody has made a mod that if you have a plane like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Parts. But there is a mod that forces you, I think, to log in and out and do annoying things, so it's not really very feasible in-game, but it loads up the design, and it makes it all into one single part. That is pretty darn useful because it helps you to prevent slowdown. Because, as I said, the Kerbal, I think it's the Unity engine in general, does physics per part. So, for example, the difference between Ferrum Aerospace and Kerbal stock aerodynamics, from what I understand, is stock dynamics looks at all the parts that are on the plane and then calculates the physics for them individually. That's why it doesn't matter that half of this intake is in the actual craft. It just goes, oh, you have an intake that gets that much, you know, it's pointed in this direction, gets that much air, good, done. Whereas Ferrum Aerospace says, oh, we'll voxel model the shape of this plane, and then based on the shape that we get, we calculate the aerodynamics for everything. So that if you have a huge thing, which gives you a lot of drag, or if you have a thing which gives you drag, but it's half inside the model, it only gives you half of the drag. I don't like that idea. Oh, whoa, 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 this thing will turn on a dime like that, okay. Should be entering the zone soon. There we go, entering Kraken's trial. Get that temperature and reset again, and that completes that contract. Now we want to go north to the North Pole. We're going to be landing. Of course we had to go north. I'm suddenly realizing, why did I have to look? My goal was to land on the North Pole. We have a compass. We're right next to the North Pole. We just need to fly north. I think that's the is that the ice shelf already? So it looks like, oh, that looks like an ice shelf, yeah. So as I said, it would have been nice had we taken more science, but to be honest, I wasn't even expecting this one to fly or work yet. So it's just good fortune that we're actually here already. I was expecting this to be a stream where most of the time we'd be trying to... Oh, I need to point more to the left, okay. Where we'd be trying to make one functional jet. I was not expecting to hit pay dirt right away.